Hey guys, welcome to episode 7. We're trying to solve the Apex trigger related problems, and we already solved a couple of problems before. Now we are trying to solve another problem, the problem number 8, where we have to write a trigger to update account's phone upon updating or inserting contact's phone. Remember this, if the record, it will work only if the contact record is associated with account records. These two objects are already having a relationship, which is lookup relationship. From contacts to account, account is a parent object, contact is a child object. So we are trying to update all the contacts account records upon updating any contacts records phone with the phone of contacts records phone. So here are the things. There's a couple of things we need to remember. As usual, trigger type. This is after trigger because it should happen right after updating or inserting the records and contact object. The trigger context is after insert and after update. Trigger object is contact object. So we got all the answers that we needed for writing the trigger. Now let's go to the trigger. Let's go to the table console and start writing trigger. Let me write the new trigger. Trigger, the name is scenario 8. Again, the object is contact, already picked up there. So I'm going to hit submit. So our trigger is getting ready. Before that, let me deactivate the trigger that's already running there. Let me refresh it. This is because make sure that you have one trigger. Oh, this is another one we're trying to do. We're trying to update scenario 7. Make sure that one object has one trigger. So this is the best practice of Salesforce also. Now, go back, complete the trigger writing process. Now, the type of trigger is not a before. This is after trigger. It should fire after insert or after update. These are the two scenarios. It should fire on. Now, I'm going to write the trigger context. If the trigger is of type trigger is insert, if we are updating, then after this operation, trigger should fire. Okay. So what it's saying is either the action is insert or is update, the context is insert or is update, and the type is after. That means it should fire right after happening, right after inserting or updating the records. And there's a condition also. So in this case, I'm going to do it a little bit different way. We're just getting familiar with the trigger, writing this trigger. And one of the best practices of the trigger, Salesforce Apex programming, is writing a trigger handler class. For this object, for this class, for this solution, I'm going to write a trigger handler class. For that, go to File, go to Dropdown. Trigger handler class is nothing but just another Apex class. So let me give the name for that. Contact phone update handler. Let me give a meaningful name like this. This is the name of the Apex class. So I created a class. Under the class, I'll create one method. Public static void after insert or after update. This is because it makes it a little bit easier for me to understand. So I'm going to introduce one collection variable here, contact list. This is to capture the record which we pass from triggers. So from trigger, we'll pass the list of contact, and that will catch here. So now what I'm going to do is, let me just copy that trigger handler class. This is the way we call the trigger. Sorry, the trigger handler class here. Dot contact phone handler. And our method is Copy this, paste it here. And what you're going to pass is, we are going to pass all the new list of contact records. So this is what we have to write in Apex Trigger class, Apex Trigger. So now go back and try to pass those records, try to perform all the operations here. So that makes the trigger a little bit light also. See, there's a less code, less lines of code. We just have 9 lines of code, and we're writing all the codes in trigger handler class. So here the trigger handlers class, what you have to do is, we already got the list of new contacts. This list consists of all trigger.new from the contact object. So as usual, what you have to do is, we have to collect all the list of contacts records which are having the account records in ID. So for that, let me introduce one set collection variable, and ID is the instance for that. New set of ID, and let me collect all those contacts. Contacts, give any name. On list, that means the same list. This list, we're trying to pick all the records, all the record IDs where they have the account ID associated. So IDs, this list should have add all the contacts records which has account ID. Let me write this way. So this ID, now this ID has all the contact records, contact IDs, which has the account ID, so that we can avoid all the unnecessary processes, all the unnecessary data. So we are filtering that. Now what we're going to do is, we're going to list out all the account records, because we need to update that list upon getting some records from contact. So for that, account, list out the accounts, account list. Now on a query, ID, name, phone. From here, I'm going to write another SQL. Let me select ID, first name, last name from account object, where the ID is equals to IDs. That means all the associated IDs only be pulled up here. So let's run a for loop here for the account object. Let me create an instance, SCC record, account list, because this list needs to be updated later. So for now, again, I'm writing another loop inside the accounts extended loop, contact record instance. Now, so this should run up to account record dot contacts. A little bit complicated, but try to understand that account record, this should run only up to the contact records, the associated contact records. So we don't need the unassociated, unrelated contacts records here. So that's the reason we're trying to pull all the contacts records which are associated with account. So now what you're going to do is, account record dot name should be the contact record's first name, because we need to keep the name also. I think the name field is required one. And then what you have to do is, account record dot phone should be populated with contact record phone. This newly updated or inserted phone. So after collecting everything, now what you have to do is update the account list. So this is what we are supposed to do. Now save it. The trigger handlers class is ready. Now go and save it. Now trigger is also ready. So our requirement is, go to the developer console, and try to see if there's any associated account. We pull any account here. Let's say this is the one. Do we have any contacts? Okay, we have the related contacts. And the phone number is given here. Let me go to the accounts, 336 700. Let's go and check that. Rated, it has the same phone number. So let's pick the different example. So that way we can get some easier view of it. Let me create a new contact. It does not have any phone number. As of now, it should not have any phone number. It does not even have the contacts now. So let me go to testing and go and see. The phone number is 123 456 78 456 778. Let me give the contact new contacts. Says Mr. something testing 2 testing phone. Just for easiness, let's just give the different number here. Let's say this is 23241111 and fives. Couple of fives. Okay. Now, is there any required field missing? No. So let me hit save. See, this phone number has been already updated. Either you are recording or either you are inserting the new completely new record or you are completely updating the record. In that case, in both of these cases, it should update it. Let me just remove the phone number. What happens? Hit save. See, the phone number from the contacts has been removed. So this is how we resolved out the scenario number 8. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.